God Family Country, welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at a couple of different things on the agenda. First and foremost, I want to give you an update about Chosen. I'm following the season pretty heavy as it's releasing in theaters, and they had a bit of some bad news, so I wanted to react to that with you guys. But with the bad also comes the good, and I wanted to also offer a perspective that I think that I've been thinking about for a long time, and it has to do with us as a group of people who believe in Jesus Christ, whether you call yourself Christian, Catholic, Orthodox, Baptist, Seventh Day Adventist. Um, yeah, I think that collectively there are some things that we could definitely come together on. So let's hear what Dallas has to say.
Get you things as fast as possible, which is why this is the bad news part of what I'm delivering, which is that we cannot release season 4 to streaming now. And there.
Oh, I know a lot of you guys were waiting for that. Me as well. I wanted to watch it with my family. I was contemplating going in the theater. I'll definitely donate my theater ticket to the cause after hearing this. But I definitely will be waiting until it streams unless I can convince my daughter to sit through. Well, you know what I thought about actually was just going and seeing episode 1 or episode 2. And if it got too long, just be okay with the little bit that I saw and say, you know what, hey, that was a lot. We'll kind of go from there because there's only so long that you could sit in a theater when you have a kid. And I wanted her to kind of see this as well with me. It is an important staple in the house. It has definitely opened up to me kind of who Jesus. You're looking at the word. There's no context in it, so this artistic freedom that's being used to kind of go around that time, and it was very meticulous. There was a lot of thought put into it. It really just peels the layers back on what it might have looked like back then, and it opens up a lot by being able to visually see it. You know, we are visual people, and although I have a great imagination and I have in wonderment read the word and wondered what it was like, it's nice to see a collective of minds come together and put together what they think it looked like or what it could have looked like, and did their best that they could, prayerfully so. So it's not going to be streaming. I'm not happy about that. I'm sure Dallas isn't happy about that. And I'm going to offer you a perspective at the end of us watching a little bit of this to try to see how simple this is and how easily this could have been avoided.
There will be a delay longer than we anticipated and hoped for. There are some legal matters that we are dealing with right now that are hopefully being resolved. And they are, in fact, the goal is to have them resolved so that we can long-term and short-term better serve you, ensure the show remains free forever and gets to over 1 billion people, and also allows us to be sustainable forever. And for
You see what Dallas is trying to do in his vision here? He's trying to make sure that everybody gets paid. It's a business, so it can sustain itself, but at the same time, everybody could watch it for free.
For the show to be free forever and for us to serve you better in every way that we can. And we are in this process, not only in the legal system, the process that we're going through, but also financially and logistically. We are coming up with ways that we can give this show to you quicker once this is resolved, which I will share shortly.
And I'm sure there's a lot of investors, and investors are usually in it for one reason and one reason only. They want to make money and they want to get paid. What I can kind of gather from this whole thing is that they're trying to work out the business and make the business model work. And this is a hard business model if you're in business at all. Just think of, you're handling marketing, that costs money. You're handling production, costs money. You're handling the employees, whether temporary actors or ongoing people. Those people need to get paid. Dallas Jenkins needs to get paid. I'm sure he's not getting paid what he should be getting paid as a producer. Also, how do you set it up for success to be a legacy type movie? Because if you really think about The Chosen, it's one of the best movies probably since, The Passion of the Christ. I did have the Bible series. I never completely finished it. I forget which DVD it was. It was a pretty good and well put together set, but this is just something that's special. This was meant to evangelize. So how do you have something that is a successful business that can evangelize for free? And if you are in business at all, just coming up with a strategy, an ever evolving strategy at the end of the day, that's not an easy feat. And yeah, you're going to have work to do. God doesn't just, as far as I've seen, just things don't just fall into people's lap. And by doing nothing, by sitting crisscross applesauce, God doesn't just, okay, just going to drop this in your lap. So I bet Dallas is feeling like Moses right now when he was walking everybody through the desert and was trying to make it all work. And hopefully, and I'm pretty sure he's got like a good counsel, a good team around him that's able to support him, give him wise counsel. So just know that if anybody's upset, get over yourself. And definitely there's some things you could be doing besides be getting upset that this hasn't released and on schedule. I guess there was some pushback on him because they didn't meet their dates. And then you don't meet your dates, that makes everybody worry as well. So there's a lot of pressure. And I'm not talking about worrying as the fans. I think that they will stay. I'm not going anywhere. And I'm wondering, hey, how can I help? I think really you got to worry about investors, companies, et cetera, et cetera. And so could he probably get injected with some money from certain companies? Yes, but would they be able to keep it free forever and be able to keep the mission and be able to allow this to be an evangelizing tool? Which what this is a modern day gospel track that you could watch for free and is really cool and entertaining. You remember back in the day they used to pass out the gospel track, Where Are You Gonna Go? And it'd be like a little comic. This is kind of like that, but in a digital form. So Dallas is trying to set up a legacy, a generational piece of digital evangelism with which is a story about Jesus Christ in the New Testament. How awesome is that? So we really need to come together as the body of Christ on this matter. Let's keep watching on.
I unfortunately can't share many more details about the legal situation than I am right now, but I can assure you that it is, we are doing everything in our power to get this taken care of as soon as possible.
And you know that he had to get money from somewhere. He was getting money from, I think he was working in conjunction with Angel Studio. I don't know if they were just the distribution or if he's still going to be with them or not. Again, I don't have any inside knowledge, but just thinking about everything, I believe they're Mormon. And so I didn't even see anybody who was able to kind of spin this off, hold it, and help out. That was even in the Christian realm, which was a disappointing revelation. And at the point, and one of the main reasons why I even started my channel was to just work towards building something that is in our realm, networking and working together. So a lot of times you will see me speak on other people's work, like The Chosen and things that I do approve of because I want to help and I want to be a part of the network. And it's not always about a profit. And really, if you are thinking as a businessman and for profit, you know that networking is a major part of it anyway. So it kind of is a win-win anyways when you're thinking like that. So I just wanted to speak on that a little bit and we can move on.
Now, I want to share with you why we're in this situation, and it's vital for you to understand it. So I'm going to give you a few facts. Remember this, and I've shared this before, but this is important to be reminded of. We don't have a studio or a network with billions of dollars at their disposal.
Exactly. We don't have a studio or a network. We're on a Mormon site that runs Christian products. We're on this, we're on Amazon, Netflix, and no offense to all of these businesses. I'm not trying to offend any of them. I'm just saying we don't collectively have something. And why, I have my own theories, and we can go into those later. But he's absolutely right. Everything, he's getting everything out of the mud. Everything, he's making something out of nothing. And it takes money to do that.
Disposal that they can share with us. And if they see that the show is starting to get successful, they can pour more into it, like what these media companies tend to do. And in order for our show to be free, and in order for Come and See, the nonprofit organization that helps contribute to the production and to the translation of the show, in order for them to translate it into hundreds of languages, and for us to market this show around the world, you have to be reminded that this costs tens of millions of dollars minimum every year.
Just to translate, tens of millions of dollars a year. I can just see all these moving parts here, and that's just the translation. And then that's got to get put into production. That's got to get attached to, all the videos. It's got to get matched. It's then got to get quality control, and it passes that. It's got to get screened, probably in that country, by somebody who's going to watch it and give feedback, things like that. There may be some small edits going back, and then redo that process and hopefully have it done and put it out for everybody to hear. Pretty much re-editing the video. And that's just the translation part.
Even though our production costs and our marketing costs and all that are much lower than the vast majority of shows that you watch, it is very, very expensive to pay cast and crew, to raise our production values each year, to make sure that we are keeping up competitively with all the other shows and movies that are out there, not only for your sake, but for our team.
Exactly. The days of us cringing through a cheesy Christian production, for a lot of people, it's not going to happen. They're just not going to do it. This is digital media. This is digital creation. It's got to have some sort of quality to it. And he's making one of the greatest stories in the Bible, the greatest story of our salvation. It is very important. It's under a microscope, and you'd want it to look good. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I remember when earlier in my faith, when I had got saved as a younger adult, when I was watching as a teen, kind of turning 20, stuff like that. When I was looking for Christian stuff to watch, and they had, TV in, and sometimes they would play movies. They would just be so old, and I would want to watch it, and I kind of would, and you kind of had to get into this mode of acceptable boringness where you kind of were okay with certain things being a certain way, just to be able to get a little bit of entertainment, because we came from Hollywood action-packed movies and then had to go to stuff that was super dated, or maybe the acting wasn't as good. I don't think there's nothing wrong with speaking on that, and I think those people were great for what they did. But we at least need to survive. You need to be honest with yourself. And I think that The Chosen coming out was it hits on all marks. The quality's there, the production's there, the acting's there. The accuracy is there. They're very mindful and protective of it, which people in Hollywood, they don't care. If they were in charge of this, they'd probably do the Jay-Z version of it, right? And we all saw that, where the guy saw Jesus and then wants to be like a prophet. We see all the blasphemy and opportunity coming out, and Jay-Z doesn't even need money. He has enough money for his children's. At that point, you kind of see people doing things just for their own agenda. I totally understand where Dallas is coming from, and I hope everybody else does understand where Dallas is coming from.
And so movies and television shows and media is extraordinarily expensive. And so the fact that we don't have a big studio or network behind us to finance all that,
So who do you have to finance you? We're going to find out. Who's financing this? This is all crowdfunded, the majority of it.
You have to also remember that separate from production, separate from what we do each year just to make the show itself, we have a company, The Chosen. We have a company that has over 60 full-time employees, and that allows us to do our international efforts, our social media, and our behind the scenes, our legal, our financial. We have a board. We have to be SEC compliant, as you hopefully know, because we are a public company. All of these things, just leaving aside the production, just to keep our.
You see how transparent this man's being with you right now? How transparent Dallas is being with you? This guy's being super transparent. He's letting you know pretty much what goes on at a production company that's producing a movie, and he's giving you a glimpse. There's a lot more, but he's giving you a condensed milk version of what's going on over there. And I can already see he's involved in all of it like a CEO. And like you said, he's got a board there. That means that those guys are all handling specific, very important chunks. This is a massive team right here. And they're doing great so far.
Company going is extraordinarily expensive. And marketing, think about the fact that we have to promote this show and get eyeballs on it all over the world. That costs millions of dollars here and around the world. So with all of that, all of those things that you have to remember that we are responsible for, we're a free show. You have the opportunity to watch the show for free.
There's no commercials, which I would be okay with commercials, honestly. And I don't know who wouldn't want to market to Christians. There's supposed to be 60% of us left in the U.S., so, I mean, who doesn't want to market to 60% of the population?
Free. Now, here are some sobering facts about the fact that we want to maintain being a free show, but also want to make sure that we have to spend and finance all of these extraordinary efforts that you're seeing both in production, marketing, translations, and our social media, and keeping this going and keeping these eyeballs growing all over the world. So here's a few sobering facts. Number one, we are one of the most watched shows in the world. That's actually the good part of it. That's not sobering. That's great.